Right, that was a quick preview of my Chinese Mini Lathe milling setup. It's a very rigid setup, and one of the best I think you can do for the Chinese Mini Lathe. And in a future video I'll be showing you how easy it is to make this one. Right, in a moment I'm going to show you how I set up and turn this 1-inch diameter 316 stainless steel ball on the Chinese Mini Lathe using my new ball turning attachment that I've made. But before I do that, I'd just like to show you some excellent new tools I have. So I've got this set, which is a cobalt drill set. Very hard material cobalt is, and very good for drilling hardened materials. It's a set from 1mm to 8mm, and the set comprises of 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.2, 3.5, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8mm. And like I say, they're very hard drills, being cobalt. I've actually used them where I've burnt out a drill before in steel, and where the metal has gone hard I've actually used a cobalt drill to go through that heated hardened core. And whenever I buy drills now, I never just buy the ordinary HSS ones. I always get HSS cobalt like these. They're very well ground, very good finish on them, and they're brilliant for all types of materials. So when you get the set from Banggood, they come in packets like these for each size, all clearly marked up. I've taken these ones out of the packets, and they also come in this nice plastic box. And I'm not going to show them drilling because there's no point in that. You'll see me using these over the coming months if we have that time. And take it from me, this is a really good set. And that's one thing I'd just like to make clear. I only do reviews on tools and equipment that I would actually buy and use in my workshop. I don't do reviews on tools and equipment that I wouldn't use just to make videos. And I say that because I've had several people asking me to do reviews on various items. If I'm not interested in the item, or if I don't think it's really good for my workshop or of really good quality, then I won't review it. And that's because I don't want my YouTube channel just to become a review channel. I haven't got time for that. So if you've never used a cobalt drill before and you don't know how good they are and you want this set, it's the 74 piece set on Banggood, 1 to 8mm, and it's M35 cobalt HSS drill bit set. Also I've got this excellent quality screw tap set. They're 7-piece M3 to M12 HSS nitride coated spiral taps, and for machine tapping. The set comprises of like I say, 7 pieces, 3mm, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10 and 12. And on the page for these taps on Banggood, it says the application of nitride enhances the abrasion performance, surface hardness, fatigue limit, anti-erosion ability of the tapping, small resistance, smooth chip removal, smooth cutting surface, no residue and good machinability. And again, I knew these would be really good before I actually bought them by the write-up and just looking at them. When I got them through the post, that confirmed my thoughts. Excellent finish, marked up clearly what size they are, and really well made, and they work excellently. And I was really pleased that I actually bought 2 sets. So for a quick example on the Chinese Mini Lathe, I've got this piece of 316 stainless steel which I've pre-drilled with the core diameter for an 8mm thread. And in the tailstock I'm using my 80mm diameter 4-jaw self-centering chuck which I got from Banggood. This is an excellent chuck for screw tapping because the jaws self-center on the square at the back of the screw tap and prevent it from spinning in the chuck. And on screw taps I always use a good quality thread cutting compound. So if you're new to machine tapping, what I do is I always clean the ways of the lathe, oil it up with clean engine oil, good dose of that all over, and that will allow the tailstock to run smoothly with the least possible resistance as the tap gets drawn into the workpiece. So you use very low revs and gently push the tap to start it, and then just let the tailstock freely be pulled in by the actual tap. And these spiral taps are designed to go straight through the component without having to go into reverse to actually clear the swarf. And that's it. And you can see that cut excellently straight the way through with very little resistance, so it's a really good tap set to get. Right, I said at the beginning of the video that I'd show how to set up my new ball turning attachment that I've made. I'm not going to show the setting of it this evening because I want to keep this video as short as possible. I'll show the making of this tool and the setting in a video soon. But this evening I'd just like to show you how I turn this 1-inch diameter 316 stainless steel bar into a ball using this tool. And I'll give all the details of how easy it is to make this tool later in that video. And it's very easy to make. You only need a few bits of mild steel. You don't need any bearings at all. And this is one of the best designed ball turning attachment. It's based on the Myford one, and it's very rigid and turns really well. And if you're ever making a ball turning attachment, I actually recommend these inserts here, which I got from Banggood. They're the TCMT 16T304 carbide inserts, and they're the same insert which is used on the actual Myford ball turning attachment. And the reason I actually recommend this insert, not only because it's used on the Myford ball turner, but it's very easy to actually make the center section here, which actually holds the insert, with this shape of tip. It's very easy to actually drill and tap for the screw that holds the insert into this piece in the correct position to actually pull it up against this back plate here. And when making this ball turning attachment, this center section, or this center part here, is the part that is most critical to get dead right. And you can see there that it's cutting really well on about 850 RPM. I have the handle which I can control the ball turning attachment with 2 hands, and that makes it really good for actually turning it nice and steady. And always use a pair of pliers or a swarf hook to actually remove swarf on the lathe. Never pull it off with your hands. And you can see the tool is working really well there. Feels like I've got lovely control over it, and on the last cut I know that I'm going to get a really good finish. And at this point I take it in a couple of thou for the final cut. And that's about it. It's got an excellent finish on it, but if I want to get a real mirror finish, I can just polish that up with a bit of fine wet and dry. And then for a mirror finish I use a bit of 1500 wet and dry. And there we go, that's pretty impressive. So there we have it, my Chinese Mini Lathe ball turning attachment, and I had excellent control over the tool with this twin handle design, a nice smooth cut all the way round and much better finishes. And this is the first time I've actually made a ball out of stainless steel using these tools. And when you see how cheap it is to make and how easy it is to make, I'm sure some of you will have a go at actually making this type of ball turner. Now before I finish, I'd just like to say that I milled out this section here on my Myford ML7. And that's because I haven't got a milling machine, and there'll be those of you that haven't got a milling machine or another lathe, but if you do the setup that I showed at the beginning of this video, you'll be able to make all the components for this ball turning attachment using the Chinese Mini Lathe only.